so much. I want to again congratulate L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
L.A. Knight finally did it, man. I mean, this dude has been chomping at the bit for the last couple of years, just trying to get a piece of the action, just trying to get a chip in the game, and now he's finally done that. So I'm definitely I'm on board. I'm on board.
Let me talk to you. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Book. To me, L.A. Knight, you know, he's also a throwback in the best way possible. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean it negatively in any meaning. He's a throwback in the best way humanly possible, because what LA Knight harkens back to, there's been a lot of comparisons to, you know, The Rock and Stone Cold and things of that nature. And I see the influences there. But this is a guy who's a product of the generation of the Attitude Era, now here in this new hot era in WWE. He looks great. He sounds great. And his match against Logan Paul was one of the better matches, I'm talking about technically, of the evening. There was a lot of stylistic the matchup between them stylistically, I guess is what I'm saying, is what I really enjoyed on Saturday. But also, shout out to Logan Paul. that guy can do things that he should have no right and ability to do.
Especially a guy that just, you know, walked into the business with zero experience, right into the main event, you know, WrestleMania with the Miz taking on the Mysterios. Definitely, that's not something you're going to see ever again. I'm serious. I don't think you're going to ever. I'm talking about a guy that have sustained and actually been relevant enough to where people believed him in that position. I got to give Logan Paul a hell of a lot of credit, man. A hell of a lot of credit, because, like I say, I really don't think we're going to see anybody come from the outside world and not just have a match, but this guy went on a run. You know what I'm saying? He went on a hell of a run. So I give a dude a whole lot of credit, man. He's extraordinary as far as, you know, picking this business up, understanding it. And you know what I always say, man, you got to be able to make it in the locker room before you can make it in the ring. This guy didn't get no pass or anything like that. He has to be a likable guy for him to have been in that position. So definitely Logan Paul did a hell of a job as U.S. champ.
There are certain guys who come into guys and girls who come into the business, and to borrow a phrase from you, it's like deja vu. It's like they had been there before. And to me, seeing what Logan Paul, with a handful of matches, this isn't a guy who came up on the indies or who trained in NXT for a few years. Because of his name and his star power, they sent him straight, like you said, to WrestleMania. And he had to learn on the fly this game. And to me, Logan Paul took to this so effortlessly. And I'm not just saying from the athletic standpoint, because, you know, athleticism can only get you so far. You could be the most athletic guy and be able to do all the stuff in the world. Doesn't really mean a hill of beans if you don't have other things that make people care. And when you look at him as a promo, you see what he does on social with, you know, interacting with the guys and being able to kind of further storylines. And I just think that, you know, I know some people feel a certain way about Logan for whatever reason, but to me, he's one of the great signings in the last couple of years to the WWE because of the marquee value he brings, the social media following he brings, the respect for the business he obviously shows, and what he's able to do inside the squared circle and on the mic. Like, top to bottom, I don't see how anybody could complain about having Logan Paul in the WWE.
No doubt. Deja vu. I remember being on the sofa watching WCW back in the day, and I say, man, I know I can do this better than that guy right now. Man, I know I can. I know I can out-talk him. I know I can outwork him. I never took a lesson before. I never been in that square circle once, and I'm sure Logan Paul was sitting at home once upon a time saying, man, I think I could do this better than some of these guys just doing it on television. And then to actually jump in the arena and actually pull it off. That right there is something that's very, very uncanny. This was not, you know, like a Lawrence Taylor, you know, one-off. This wasn't like a Bad Bunny situation where he just came in and did a couple of things. This is a guy, like I say, had a sustained run over a period of time as the United States champion, a YouTuber, a guy that's not from this world that we're in. So that's why I say I give this dude a lot of credit, man, for actually stepping into those shoes and actually being able to wear them again is something that's very, very uncanny. So big ups to Logan Paul. Big ups.
And I liked it, like I said, I like the stylistic matchup between him and LA Knight. I'm sure they're going to go their separate ways for now, but I wouldn't mind seeing them back again. And when we go from one title change, we do have to talk about the other one. We got to talk about Braun Breaker putting it on Sami Zayn, who I know you're a big Sami Zayn guy. I'm a big Sami Zayn fan. Braun Breaker went in there, beat him in about 5.5 minutes, and became the new Intercontinental Champion. To me, this guy has megastar written all over him. Braun is fantastic, I think, right now, and I'm excited to see kind of where he goes with being the Intercontinental Champion, a title that you've held before.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if that was one of those moments, when you get in the ring, you got 10 to 12, and then all of a sudden so you send them home. Let's get them up out of
it. It did seem a little rushed, like
did.
the time, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just wondering, if the time got cut or something on that. But I think the right person won that match. I think it's time for Braun Breaker to actually, get the rub and actually be put in that position where he is looked at as a mega star. And that's the one thing I think WWE is doing really, really good as of late, and that's create mega stars like they did back in the day. It was a plethora of women that would come through that curtain that you were going to go crazy for. It was a plethora of men that would come through that curtain, walk down that aisle that you was going to go crazy for. And I think now they really are in tune to creating stars, opposed to it's all about the brand. At one point, it had got to where it was just about the brand, but now I'm getting that feeling again. I'm really beginning to get that feeling. I could be wrong. But I'm feeling something, and I'm thinking that's what it is.
I think that you're absolutely right. When you look at what they were able to do with Roman Reigns and his run, Cody Rhodes so far, just if you look at those two guys are not just, they're the guys who wrestle for the WWE. Those guys are known within pop culture. People know who Cody and Roman are from the level that WWE has promoted them to, and they're not the only ones, right? I mean, you see people doing the yeet in soccer games and basketball games. Jimmy Uso has established himself as a star in and out of the business. Bianca Belair has established herself as a star in and out of the business. Like you said, men and women. And to me, it's incredible.
And now with the addition of guys like Gunther, females like Tiffany Stratton, you're going to be seeing so much more of that. Even going into the NXT bag, just like with Thea Hill and Roxanne Perez, you can see those two. They're going to be stars before they get there. They're household names before they get there. And I think that's what WWE has been doing a hell of a job as of late, creating stars the way they created stars back in the day.
So tell me this, going to Braun Breaker, what do you want to see from him in this Intercontinental Championship run? What does he need to do while he has that title to really take his game to the next level?
Well, what I always say, as far as being the champion, it's the hardest job you're ever going to have. Being the champion is the hardest job you're ever going to have. That's why when I see guys like, a Bailey, a Becky Lynch, a Roman Reigns, in that position, you know what I always go back to? They got to be able to trust you. They got to be able to trust you to do just about everything, make the towns, to do the promo work, their own sales, but then also go in there and have bangers every time you go out there and work. And the thing is, I always talk about Roman Reigns being champion, and I always talk about all the guys that work with Roman Reigns walk away a better person, a better wrestler. And it shows. It shows. Braun Breaker's going to have to figure out how to create that same thing if he wants to have that legacy like I think he's going to have. Psychology is everything, being able to go out there and perform and make everybody look better than anybody else can make them look. That's what Braun Breaker's going to have to think about in this championship run.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because he's been intensity personified since he came to the main roster, and you can tell when WWE has somebody earmarked for big things. You could tell just for certain things that we don't even have to talk about, but you could just tell that he's earmarked for big things. And so right now, I think Braun just needs to stay the course, continue to do what he has been doing, work on the craft, do all the cliche things that we say, but doing those things are going to set him up to when he needs to elevate himself from the Intercontinental title picture to a world heavyweight title picture, which I see for him in the future. There's going to be more, and I'm excited to see what he does from a program perspective, who he goes up against next, because especially for somebody like Braun, it's just going to be interesting to see who they set him up with moving forward, because you have to really pick his opponents and pick those programs
Matchmaking.
in a certain way.
Matchmaking.